Most closers never make it past 20K a month because they're focused on the wrong things. I broke that ceiling in my second month closing, earning $20,000 in commission by ditching the script completely and shifting how I showed up to every single call. That shift became scriptless selling, which allowed me to build my income to $100,000 per month in commissions within 17 months. And I'll show you exactly how it works and how you can start using it today. If you're showing up to every call, following scripted questions, saying the right things, and still feel like something's off, and your results, or lack of, are telling you the same story, I get it. I never leaned on a script, even early on. It didn't feel right. It felt stiff, like I was performing, not connecting with someone or having a real conversation. So I dropped any canned lines fast. I started trusting my instincts, leading with presence, and listening to understand, not listening to respond. And that's when everything changed. Because here's the truth no one tells you. The difference between making 20K and making 50K or 100K a month is everything that you're never gonna learn reading from a script. You get to those levels of income by becoming someone your prospects can feel is a leader. And that's not learned in a script. It's in something else. So in this video, I'm gonna break down why scripts break at a high income level, what I now use instead, scriptless selling, and how shifting my identity as a salesperson led to my biggest commission months in sales. So first, why scripts break at the top level? Scripts can be fine when you're learning. They're giving you training wheels. But once you're making 5 to 10K a month and want to break through that ceiling, they become a crutch. Reading a script on a sales call is like a chess beginner recalling memorized sequences versus a grandmaster reading the board. The beginner is up in their head trying to recall memorized moves, but because they're not present, an opponent can easily win simply by moving out of the way of their pre-planned sequences. Now, a chess grandmaster can see every move on the board. They have the ability to move in any direction, and because they're 100% present on the game, any move that you make, they're 100 steps ahead and will just adapt and beat you. One plays checkers, the other plays chess blindfolded. Prospects can read when you're not present. They can tell when your energy is focused on your scripted questions or following a process and not with them as a person. Have you ever been sat with someone, maybe a friend or a family member, having a conversation, and you can just tell their mind is elsewhere? Well, how did that make you feel? Did it make you want to continue having the conversation and talking with them? Now imagine at the very end of that conversation, boom, they whip out a credit card payment processor and try to make you buy something. You would probably feel offended. The absurdity of someone not being present and then wanting something from you is obvious. But yet, many closers haven't connected the dots, and then they wonder why their income is as distant as their presence is on the call. I'll never forget the turning point for me when the dots finally connected. I was on a call to sell a 20K offer, $2,000 in commission if I'd closed it. I nailed every question, hit every pain point, and I still got hit with, yeah, let me think about it. Why? I'd been rehearsing some of the same exact questions I heard my mentor use on his calls, memorizing them, just like reading from a script. And on this call, I ran out of questions to ask. So I did the only thing left that I could. My back was against the wall, so I pulled the prospect out of the discovery and started to roll into my pitch. But I hadn't gotten to the real conversation. There was 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 layers deeper into the truth that we just hadn't gotten to because I had not been present and I had run out of questions. Now, I lost $2,000 in commissions in a single hour, but because I did not have the ability to go beyond the scripted questions, the thing that really bothered me was I knew that prospect needed help and I had let them down. So I went to my mentor and I asked him for some advice. Now, he said to me, Josh, at the moment, your prospect is on the call. They are drowning, and you are their only hope. Now, those simple words of responsibility that I had to my prospects changed my life and my income forever. Like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. Showing up not present and unable to ditch the script to have a deeper, real conversation was me being irresponsible to my prospects. The solution? Well, my underground mentor said this: drop all of your scripted questions and focus on getting the prospect to the point where they realize the severity of where they're currently at and the consequences of staying there. Now that brings me to what I now use instead: scriptless selling. I threw out all of my scripted questions and mastered scriptless selling. If you want to find out more about that, click the link below this video. So scriptless selling has 3 parts. The first is state over tactics. Before every call, I ask myself, what's the real outcome I'm here to create? Not to close, to be 100% present and find and hold the prospect in the truth. When your intention is embodied mentally and physically, your state changes and you become magnetic. Prospects want you to make them an offer and they want to buy from you. In contrast, most closers are chasing, having objection handling battles and being the nice guy or the nice girl, being needy and desperate in an attempt to get the sale over the line, only to end up in days, weeks, or months of following up. Now, to be blunt, that is loser behavior. You're doing more work externally, chasing, memorizing, being buddy-buddy, trying to compensate for not having the right state on the call. Now let's get into the second part to scriptless selling: understanding people. I don't memorize what to say. I learned to read people and uncover the truth by spotting their patterns in their speech, behavior, tonality, and in their body language. Prospects literally tell you exactly what you need to know to close them. The answers to the test, so to speak. If you only learn to understand people instead of just reading scripted questions. When do they open up? When do they protect themselves with rationalizing, justifying, or making excuses, or simply lying? Why? Why do they do those things? When do I need to lead? When do I need to let the prospect lead? All of these things, there is no one size fits all. It's like a dance. You tune into the rhythm, the nuances, the individualities of each individual person, and you have a unique discovery to run for every type of prospect. Now, showing up in the way that each prospect needs and adapting to the conversation that they need to have in real time allows you to close every single prospect that's closable. Understanding people is the difference between earning $15K a month and earning 40, 50, or 100K a month in commissions. And it's everything you'll never learn reading from a script. When you learn to read people, you become like the grandmaster in chess. Like I said, you can read 100 moves ahead, and you already know how you'll checkmate someone. Meanwhile, other closers are still playing tic-tac-toe, crossing off questions on their script. Now, finally, here's the third part to scriptless selling. This one is the big one, the deservedness factor. This is the piece that nobody wants to talk about because it's uncomfortable, and it's a truth that most salespeople do not want to face. But every unicorn closer that I've trained, from Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team to members of the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, does not avoid this. And the results speak for themselves. Closers like Skylar, who's earned over $50,000 a month in commissions, retired his wife, and now just bought their dream home. Or Pete, who bought his dream car, and now a $16,000 Rolex, just to name a few of them. So here's what the deservedness factor is. If I am not someone who is worthy of buying from, a call has a very low likelihood of closing. Why is that? Because the version of you that shows up is what the prospects buy into or don't buy into. If they don't buy you as a person, as the closer, the likelihood that they buy your product or service is very low. And here's why. You've heard the saying before, don't shoot the messenger. Why is it a saying? Because it's a human tendency to associate the messenger with the message. Now, in marketing, they say the medium is the message. They both tell the same thing, that the person carrying the message is the message. You are the sale. Not just your words, your tonality, or your body language, or your sales expertise, but who you are as a person. What is your deservedness factor? Simply, scale of 1 to 10. Are you showing up? Are you putting in the work? Are you aligning yourself with a mentor and becoming more every single day as a person? Do you deserve people to buy from you? Do you deserve to live the life you want to live? If the answer is no, then the question is, how much more money are you willing to flush down the toilet before you do something about it? Being honest with yourself and facing the truth is the simple reason why inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, the very first thing I take closers through is 8 weeks of internal mastery. Now, this process is called the Launchpad. The name speaks for itself. It dials in a closer's identity, their drive, their emotions, their beliefs, their health, their habits, their values, and their environment. It is a holistic transformation from the ground up. Because you can't fake who you are with memorized, slick objection handlers, or a nicer Zoom background, or acting classes, which is what most scripted sales role plays have become these days. Your character speaks through your tactics, your manipulation, or your gimmicks. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Who you are speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you're saying." Now, here's the key. To become that person who deserves the life you want to live, I had to change something much, much deeper. I had to expand my whole concept of what is sales. Now, this is what I call self-actualized selling. And the foundation is the realization that successful selling begins with who we be. Someone whose sole job is to become and show up as the caring and helpful person who exists primarily to offer help to those who choose it. Now, my mentor called this position the benevolent alpha. And it wasn't about saying smarter words. It was about becoming a better version of myself. I stopped seeing myself as a salesperson doing sales, and I started showing up as a 100K a month individual. And here's what changed. Pretty much everything. Prospects started opening up more easily. Objections disappeared. And I no longer had to spend hours, days, weeks, or months following up with people. I stopped getting burned out or bored of selling. I started enjoying calls. Now seeing that sales went way beyond a script. Sales felt fun, and it frankly felt easy. I committed to using sales as a vehicle for me to become the best version of myself, self-actualizing whilst making a lot of money in the process. And honestly, it felt like a dream come true. I could make a lot of money, become the best version of myself, and help people all at the same time. I don't know if it gets any better than that. By learning scriptless selling, I went on to having the opportunity to train some of the top sales teams in the industry, like Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team. And over 17 months from taking my first ever sales call, my income skyrocketed from $2,000 a month in earnings to over $100,000 a month in commissions. That is a 50x in 17 months. My life transformed before my eyes, but more importantly, so did I. Listen, you can keep memorizing lines and tweaking frameworks, but if your identity, who you are, isn't evolving to meet the goals you want, you'll keep capping your income and burning yourself out trying. Psychology has studied that the ceiling of your limits will always be your identity or your self-image. Inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, we have people brand new in sales, learning this way to sell from day one. We have setters like Daniel earning 10K a month in commissions. And we have people earning 20K, 50K, and even 100K a month from sales. All the result of showing up, putting in the work, and aligning themselves with other unicorns who want to earn more money by becoming more simultaneously. We develop internal mastery, teach scriptless selling, and set a standard of excellence so you can earn the money you truly want to be earning in sales. Now, if you are finally ready to ditch the script and learn scriptless selling, click the link below this video right now and find out more about joining the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. I didn't scale my income by reading from a script. I scaled it by mastering my inner state, becoming a better version of myself, understanding people, and learning scriptless selling. If you are ready to step into that version of yourself, you already know what you need to do.